He is 100% worth it.
He takes it to another level. Oh my God, I just fell in love with it.
Thanks so much, Jay.
Blew my mind. And it worked. I wanted to buy my thing.
Jay is, I would say, the Yoda of sales calls, man.
Just talking to Jay, he was so good at just taking what it is, seeing the opportunity and the value and the real reason we are making it.
Talk to Jay, because he got it. He can definitely help you out.
Talk to Jay. You're going to get a lot. You're going to gain a lot.
I would absolutely recommend him for any position that you have.
Jay's definitely the guy.
Give him the chance, give him the opportunity. You won't regret it.
He's good at what he does, so I highly recommend him, and I would book him before he is fully booked out.
Welcome back to the Sales Ninja Show. I'm your host, Jay Lee, and people know me as a Sales Ninja. And today we have an exceptional guest who has truly mastered the art of high-ticket sales and marketing. He is a dynamic force in the industry, bringing over 20 years of experience working with some of the biggest names and brands you can imagine. Think Fortune 500 companies, think top-tier influencers. He's just about the talk, but he delivers results, transforming struggling sales processes into profit-generating machines. In 2022, he joined Grant Cardone's team, quickly climbing the ranks to become digital marketing manager. He turned a failing webinar into a record-breaking success, pulling in an incredible $5 million in sales. But that's just the beginning. He's helped companies like Contractor Independence double their sales and streamline revenue growth for HL Pro Tools, and he's here today to share his insights and strategies on how you can master high-ticket sales and marketing. Please welcome to the stage the phenomenal Eddy Miranda. Eddy, how's it going, brother?
What's going on, Jay? How's it going, brother? It's been a long time, dude. It was funny, bro. Like, your intro had one of my testimonials and backgrounds changed. Totally.
I know.
Bro, but I love the fact that you still have that on there, dude.
You leveled up. And that was one of the best testimonials. And I love that, you said I'm the Yoda of sales, and we put a little graphic there. And I thought that was kind of funny. We've come a long way. We've watched each other struggle, fail, fall forward. And I think that's the point, is that, you fell and failed forward until you have hit a place where you have found your sweet spot. I know your journey, but for the rest of the people who have not heard your journey on the Sales Ninja Show podcast, your accomplishments and your work ethic and the struggles that you have come over through the adversities is amazing. And your story is amazing. That's why it's actually kind of hard, I find, to encapsulate, your journey and your struggles. So why don't we deep dive right in, because, we've got a lot of journeys to go through. I think we're gonna have to do a part 2, but let's start, just wind back a little bit, because I think your resilience and your work ethic and the way that you've climbed and you kind of reached different summits, if you will, has been truly inspiring to me. So, you've been in the game for a long time. You've been working with some of the biggest names in the industry. So take us back to some of the people that you work with and how you work in their businesses. If there are NDAs, you don't need to name names. But if you're allowed to, feel free to share stories of how you learned from the struggles and from the lows, and then let's get to the highs in just a moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, like what you said, I have like over 20 years experience. So like I've worked with a lot of different kinds of companies and a lot of different kinds of influencers. I think back like around 2016, 2017, I had like my own design firm, and in that instance, I was able to work with like some Fortune 500 companies. One of them was actually down here in Miami called T-Rock Global, which was basically a humongous real estate, or not real estate, but they're in what's it called, man? They're in open box stores, like brick and mortar stores, and they do a lot of like cell phone companies and things like that. So I worked with companies like those, but then when I was in fitness, I worked with a lot of fitness influencers. So like I had, a thing that I launched and started and actually grew to be pretty massive, which was called Men's Physique News. So I worked with a lot of fitness brands like Steel Fit and Protan. Worked with High Tech Pharmaceuticals, which is a supplement line. So and I worked with a lot of influential people inside of that industry, like Olympia winners and multiple title winners and huge big names inside of that industry. And when I came off of that, it was like around COVID, and that's where I kind of hit like one of my major brick walls, because like my design firm was really flourishing. I was working with a lot of these names like Gold's Gym and a bunch of different names like that. And once the pandemic hit, like everything shut down, and my wife was already kind of like in network marketing at that point. And I decided to do that pivot. And I think that's really around the time that me and you start meeting, which was around the pandemic time. And in that time, like I really focused on my skills. So I started reading a lot of books. I started going into learning how to do, Facebook groups. I started going into how to be able to do funnels and run ads and everything like that. So a lot of the skills that I have has actually been firsthand, like me doing it myself and then doing it for other people. And that's where I really started gaining like the experience, because like I was like in the dirt, like really trying to figure this out. Like I didn't have the mindset, had to grow the mindset, didn't have the skills, had to grow the skills. And, with all the back and forth that I was doing between, the pandemic and, around 2022, I had this humongous opportunity, which was I was able to work for one of the two people that I always felt that if I were to work anywhere, if I were to give up my entrepreneurial journey and leave the comfort of my own home, it would be two people I would want to work with. One was working for ClickFunnels or Russell Brunson, just because of the fact of all the books that I've read from Russell and how much he's inspired me, and literally using all the tactics inside these books into what I'm doing now today. And the other one was Grant Cardone, because he was here locally in Miami. I wanted to learn sales. I wanted to learn all this stuff because I felt that that's one of the skills that I was lacking. So because I knew a lot of people in the real estate industry here in Miami, they were in his circle. So then we started connecting with all those people, and I got the chance to actually connect with Jared and brought me in for an interview. And they're like, dude, all the skills that you have here is everything that we need. So they brought me on board. And that was like a huge shocker, because like before I was utilizing all my skills, and I'm like, I didn't think that they really didn't amount to anything, right? Like I'm building all these skills. I didn't think that I could flex them in the way that I can, until I got there, because then I start realizing, oh man, like it's not the same on the outside as it is on the inside. They have a lot of problems that I could go and start seeing like what they kind of fix. So like I start fixing their systems. I start fixing one of the book funnels, things like that, all stuff that I've had experience with. And that actually grew me to becoming like Grant Cardone's digital marketing manager, which now was able to help out his entire real estate products. So that was just like one big name that I've been able to work with. But then afterwards, after I've left Grant, I've been able to work with a couple of different companies. Another notable name is actually Brandon Turner, which he's another real estate mogul as well. And literally doing the same thing what I was doing over at Cardone, doing it over for Brandon, which was putting self-liquidating offers, making sure that they run, making sure that they're profitable, and then providing a newer sales cycle for them so that they could start generating more revenue and start getting more people into their high ticket monthly recurring program that they had. So I've worked with quite a few names, and I have a lot of experience in many vast different areas of just marketing as a whole, which I think now looking back is huge, because now I can be put into any position and be able to counter it and be able to take over it, right? Like in the graphics, in the web development, in the funnel building, in the ads, in the systems, and just overall marketing processes as a whole, right? So yeah, I've worked with a lot of big names, and I think, I've learned a little skill here and there from each one of those that I've actually worked with.
We want to give a shout out to our mentor, Akbar Sheikh, who is tuning in.
Akbar?
What? And because of Akbar, who is, really big into the make more, give more, Eddie and I have met, and I used to have the opportunity and privilege to work with the amazing Akbar Sheikh. So shout out to Akbar. And thank you guys thank you, Akbar, for, your heart to inspire us to be better. If you guys have any questions in the comments for Eddie or myself, please put them in the comments. So, you know, what I find really amazing, Eddy, is that you have learned all these skills and the mindset. Those are like two major things that most people lack. They might have a skill, but they don't know they have it. If they have a skill, a lot of people don't refine it to the point where they're going to sharpen their double-edged katana, if you will, and slice through the BS, if you will. And the mindset is what prevents most people from starting, growing, and then scaling. You've taken the double-edged sword of the katana, and you've taken the skills and mindset. Here's another product. Here's another program for you, my brother, to take the skills and mindset. Here's a high-ticket coaching offer to teach people how to find their gifting, how to refine their skills, how to take that mindset and blow up their business. You know, grit is the definition of two things: passion and perseverance, and you've got both. I love that you said that, you know, you didn't think that you had the skills, the self-worth, the mindset to be able to work with, you know, grants and, you know, all these different big people. How did you overcome the imposter syndrome? How did you overcome, like, I don't know if I have worth or a value at the table?
Yeah, that's a very good question, man, because like the first day I started there, I was like a complete nervous wreck. I'm like, I didn't know what I was, dude, I lost sleep. Like I lost like 2 or 3 days of sleep. Like,
wow.
I'm like, first of all, I'm like, oh my God, I'm actually inside the office. Like I'm in here, like doing his stuff.
They let me in.
what are they doing? They made a mistake here. But
I'm out on parole.
But the funny thing is, I think one, like the people that I was in contact with, like there was just one guy that he had interviewed me like right before I actually went into the office, which was his name was Ricky, which he actually used to work for ClickFunnels. He worked for Russell Brunson. He helped him with the 2-step order forms. Like he's really, really big in the game. And he would be like, man, you got the chops. Like he literally told me, he's like, I don't have to worry about you. Like, you know your crap. Like, you don't have to like tell me anything. Like, I trust what you do. And that actually gave me a humongous vote of confidence. And as like I continued on to it, it was like me just putting in the work and basically understanding what their biggest problems were. And just basically just speaking my mind. Like I remember we were all leaving the office. Everybody jets out of there at 6 o'clock, and I stayed back a few minutes later and started talking to the main marketing manager at the time.
Yeah,
I think he still is there. And they were talking about a book funnel. I was like, well, you guys need to be doing this and this and this and this. You know, like you need to change this. This is where it needs to be. You need to do this. And they're like looking at me like okay, like all right, cool. And the funny thing is, like, he calls Ricky right after. He's like, bro, Eddy really knows his stuff. Right. So, like, as I kept on working on there and start showing face and start showing my knowledge and what I'm capable of doing, that's what it really started giving me the vote of confidence that I was getting out of that imposter syndrome. I actually even remember one day, which it really didn't happen very often. In fact, it never really happened, that you know, Jared, which was Grant's right-hand man, calls in the entire marketing team for a meeting in the morning before we even start. And literally, I wasn't even expecting it. He looks at me. He's like, you guys need to be like Eddy, man. He's going to be our next digital marketing manager.
Whoa, he called it out?
He called it out. And then everybody starts going, it's like, you're going to get promoted. And I'm like, and that's very hard for that to happen inside of the ranks like Cardone, because once you're there, you really don't grow, and you don't grow that fast. So a lot of that stuff helped me with my vote of confidence and understanding that, yeah, my skill set is bar none, like something that is very valuable, especially to somebody like at Cardone's team, right? So just being inside that environment is what kind of catapulted me to get away from the imposter syndrome. And once I left, I already knew the skill sets I've done. I already know what I've accomplished. And now I just go into everything knowing that, hey, if I was able to do it for somebody like Grant, and you think that everything's perfect on the outside, but we were losing money on the inside, and I was able to make that profitable, I could do it for somebody else.
Amazing. So another next question, amazing, was did you hire someone to help buy back your time? Cha-ching! That's a shout out to Dan Martell behind you. because you know, Akbar, who is the Make More, cha-ching, give more. You're not sponsoring any stuff, but we should consider that.
No sponsorship dollars here.
But you know, we're all about collapsing time and making more to give more and buying back our time. So you have to learn the skill set. You have to learn the graphics, the paid ads, the funnels, the VSL, the sales copy. Like, not many people can figure that stuff out. And it's really, really, really hard, or it takes really, really long time. Did you get a mentor? Did you get people to help you to collapse time so that you can speed or accelerate the process of gaining the skill sets?
You know, like, I actually ask myself that question a lot, because, you know, I think even in a bunch of different books, or like, you know, I was like reading a Patrick Bet-David book.
Me too.
Like, so
your next 5 moves.
Well, I was reading that one, but you also have this one over here, which is Choose Your Enemy Wisely, and he talks a lot about going to, you know, somebody that you could trust in order for you to be able to make sure that you're making the right moves. And the funny thing is that I really never really had that, right? I think Akbar was really like one of my first ones that like really helped me, like guide me along the way. But as far as learning my skills, as far as learning like ads, you know, everything like that, I learned everything firsthand. I went through the actual grunt of doing
insane,
this
dude.
stuff.
That's
hard. I think I only watched like one Facebook ads course, and it was a Ken David Facebook ads course. And I'm like, I really didn't learn much from it, but like everything that I did was firsthand work and grunt. So the funny thing about it is that once I got into Grant's office, they were like, hey, you're the meta master. Like, we have a YouTube guy, he's freaking amazing, but you're in office and you know meta inside and out. And they would rely on me. I'm like, dude, I learned everything on my own. And the cool thing about it is that like I was basically part of the traffic team when I joined the company. And they were all like, hey, we need to get this course. We need to get this course from Charlie, and we need to get this course from Ad Skills, and we need to get this. I'm like, guys, like, do you understand that we have like an endless budget in order to test and figure out theories? Like, we don't need to go into somebody else's course because our situation's a whole lot different than what those courses are providing. And we have an endless amount of budget in order for us to test. So yeah, I wish that I did have a mentor. I wish that I did have somebody in order to tell me what I was doing wrong or what I was doing right. But I think I would rather do it myself, because then I could tell people, hey, this is the way to do it. This is the way not to do it, because I've already gone through it myself. And you get all those coaches like, oh, I've done this myself, so you don't have to. Well, I'm a perfect example of that. I've gone through everything in those skill sets so that you don't have to. Like, I was doing graphic design for years, and I did get a mentor until like I started graphic design in 2000. I got a mentor in 2011, right? Like, wow. That's how long it took me to get a mentor. And that's how I learned branding. And that's how I was able to learn, you know, different aspects of graphic design. But until then, I never had a mentor for that, right? But for ads, for funnel building, for all that stuff, the only thing for funnel building was one funnel away challenge and reading all of Russell's books, right? Like, that's the only mentorship I got. I never had somebody over my shoulder letting me know what I need to do, what I didn't need to do. So yeah, a lot of the skills that I learned was absolute grunt work every single step of the way.
Okay, amazing. Because I want to just be able to highlight your genius and some sales tactics and funnel strategies. You have a plethora of case studies. We can highlight them just for time's sake. You had Contractor Independent, you had Brendan Turner, you had HL Pro Tools, just to name 2 or 3 of them, and you helped them shift and gain some amazing results. Can you kind of highlight some sales strategies or funnel strategies that help them go from before and after, and how you did that? I know we don't have a lot of time to go through that. People can hire you for that, but just give us a highlight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the most reputable ones that I could go over with you right now is the Brandon Turner and HL Pro Tools. They both had similar problems when I got into their marketing departments. Basically, with Brandon Turner's, one of the major things that I saw was that they were trying to throw every single offer, every single funnel that they had. They thought of a new idea, let's do a new funnel. And for me, when I got in there, it was like, we just need to simplify this to its core. right? We can't just be throwing another lead gen and another funnel and another this and another that, another webinar, and it just became like too hectic. So one of the things that I did was, and even with HR Pro Tools, is simplify the marketing, right? So with Brandon Turner, what I did was that I took off all the extra weight and focused on 2 funnels. One was we built a self-liquidating offer, which was basically for us to be able to get paying customers coming in, and then we'll retarget them with a video sales letter. And the problem that they had with their video sales letter and why they weren't generating the revenue that they could have was because it was going straight to a purchase. So you're trying to sell a customer a monthly recurring product, and you're expecting for them to pay $300 a month without even knowing exactly what it is. So what I did is that I completely changed the process into going to a book a call, and then we start establishing a sales team that now they were able to generate the customers coming in much more effectively and being able to generate more people coming into their high ticket monthly recurring revenue. And with HR Pro Tools in the same way, like simplifying it, they had a homepage, they were on autopilot, and the homepage basically had a button to book a call, a button to check out, a button for reviews. So what I did is just simplified the page for it to be one specific thing, which was to book a call. We ended up building out a sales team, and we were able to grow the monthly recurring revenue $100,000 in 2 months just from that.
Holy smokes. 100K a month in recurring revenue in only 60 days.
Yep.
So that took them from, I think you said 325K to 425,000 a month?
No, 425 to 525.
Okay, amazing. Even better. Wow. Okay, so the bio that I got here was maybe outdated. So let's go back a little bit, because there's people here who are starting out, who are growing, and people who are scaling. You know, some people are at 0, some people are at 10 to 50K a month. Some people are trying to scale beyond 100K to $1 million months. So SLO, what is an SLO, which is self-liquidating offer? Because some people don't understand the vernacular and the acronyms. What does that mean?
Yeah, so self-liquidating offer basically means it's a funnel that has a very low barrier of entry product on the very front-facing page. And then once they go into the secondary pages, the value of each product kind of increases. And why it makes it a self-liquidating offer is because you're basically paying for $1 in ads and then $1 back. That's what self-liquidating. And what that allows you to do is that it allows you to, one, spend the money that you need to on the ads, because you're going to be getting it right back on sales. But then 2, you're going to be able to get higher quality clients coming in because they're already paying with their wallet for a $17, $27 product that's low barrier entry, and you're going to get much better qualified people coming through. So basically, it's just a sales funnel process that just lets you scale without losing money. And if you are losing money, you just have to fine tweak a few things inside of the funnel in order for you to be able to get a $1 in, $1 out. If you're losing money on it, then there's something that needs to get fixed, because you should either be breaking even or just a little bit profitable on those.
Yoda, that was amazing. So what I'm hearing you say, because I want to try to make it simple, I know you're in your genius, you're just like, you obviously live this out and understand this. SLO, which is a self-liquidating offer, leads to an ascension ladder to help make the ad spend back. So if you're spending $1 in ads, you're basically making your dollar in sales back. So you're getting free hot jalapeno leads, and then you have upsell on the back end with the high ticket or even mid ticket offer to be able to not only get hot leads for free, which is incredible, much faster, much better than organic, and then being able to make $10,000, $100,000 a month on high ticket offer upsells, because you warmed up the audience, you've given them the content, they've gotten more touch points, and you're basically warming and engaging with them throughout. Does that sound about accurate? Or
yeah, that's absolutely correct. And the thing is, like, a lot, like, you want to be able to use that, especially if you're like a high ticket coach, because like not everybody's going to be coming through what we call like a video sales letter funnel, right? Because that you're trying to sell people, your cost could go drastically up. People are still trying to get to know you. And you could use a self-liquidating offer in order to help nurture those people much quicker, right? Because now they're getting to know who you are. They're basically consuming some course pieces from you, and they really get to jive of who you really are. Then once you provide access to what we call a book a call funnel or a video sales letter funnel, it's the sales process is much easier, right? So for any high ticket coach, that's what I truly recommend, is having a self-liquidating offer up front, and then having your video sales or your book a call funnel after the fact, because now that people are just going to be so much more nurtured.
My goodness. Is there a way, and this is a question, I'm curious, I don't know if you guys use loss leader strategies where maybe you purchased a SaaS lifetime deal, for example, and it's like either engagement software or adding friends, or it's like, posting, comment, whatever. It doesn't really matter. A SaaS product that you can get as a one-time offer, and then on a paid ad, you can offer it for free, and then have different ascension offers because people would want it when they see it on the ad. Do you guys use loss leader strategies at all, or?
No, so you're by loss leader, you mean by basically getting something that would have been a monthly recurring revenue and just making a lifetime deal? Is that where you're trying to?
Yeah. So let's say you offer like a free tool, and then it just brings in a boatload of people, but you're just paying for the people to see that, and then you're doing bundles or packages or upsell, saying, hey, if you need support on that, if you need group coaching on that, we have a program to help you take that tinder or that little piece of wood and put fuel to the fire.
Got you. So you're basically what you're talking about is almost like a tripwire funnel that they'll get for free, and then afterwards get a low barrier entry. Yeah.
Yes.
So like I've actually steered away from that a lot. And I've done that in a couple different instances. I've done that what we call a tripwire, which is you're getting a free thing on the first page on an opt-in page, and then the second page is like a $7 or $17.
Yeah. So you avoid that?
I actually try to avoid that, and I'll tell you why. Because there's an instance like I've actually done that with like booking a call, right? Like we've led in with like, hey, a free tool or a free worksheet or something like that. And then the next page is, hey, thank you for downloading this, but hey, look at this 5-minute video and then try to book a call.
Right.
And the cost for booking a call on that particular funnel is like 2 or 3 times more than you would on a video. So when you take that same concept and you do it for like a $7 thing or a $17 thing right after they opt in, you're going to get the same thing, right? Like you're like, hey, I'm going to get this free thing, and then like, oh, what? Now I got to pay for this. I'll tell you a great story about this, because like we just finished launching a new product on HR Pro tool side that's called GHL University. And the kid, he's a greenhorn. He's like still trying to learn his way. I told him, hey, if we do this way, like they'll opt in for 20 free videos, but then see a video sales letter for GHL University, you're going to lose everybody. And then he comes back to me 2 weeks later. It's like, I did what you told me not to do, and I see why you told me not to do it. Because everybody started questioning. It's like, oh, do I have to book a call now? Do I have to, like, right? Because when you're looking at the brain or the mind of a prospect, they're thinking, hey, I'm getting something for free, and that's all that they're getting, right? But if you go with, hey, I have to pay $7 or $17 or $27, they're already in the mindset that they're already in the sales process, right? So that's like, think about it, like Jay, like you know on how to be able to get people inside of that sales process and inside of their mind to make sure that they don't get lost in that process of you having that discussion. So imagine the same way with the funnel. You're coming in for a free thing, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, pay for this. And it's like, well, that's not what I was thinking coming into this. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, that I don't really, vouch for that as much. Now, what I do vouch for is if you're going to be selling a free webinar, or if you're going to be doing a 5-day challenge, that they opt in for that challenge, and then the page afterwards is a workbook, right? So I've done that in 2 different instances that I did that. That's how I was able to get record-breaking attendance for Grant Cardone's live webinar. what we did was that they opted in, but then they paid for a $37 workbook. And the objective on the ads wasn't for lead, it was for purchase. Now, yes, we did get less leads, but what ended up happening was that the attendance for the webinar was the highest it's ever been. And then they ended up selling the most that they've ever had on a webinar, which I think was about $5 million going into interactive. So it depends on the instance of how you're doing it. But for a low ticket stuff or for a book a call, I wouldn't. But if you're doing it for a webinar and it's an addition to what the webinar is or addition to what the 5D challenge is, then yes, I would totally tell you to do it.
Amazing. There was so much fire in there. Hot stuff, jalapeno hot. So I don't know why I keep on saying jalapeno. I saw someone put a post. I'm into the spice now. So that's the self-liquidating offer. So are you saying that when you are putting this paid ad with this self-liquidating offer, that it is a low ticket like offer in the beginning on the ad, like $7 or $17? Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, you could probably do like $27. That's what we do with Brendan Turner's self-liquidating offer. And that crushed it. That was like, we only had the front page and that was breaking even on day one, which was awesome. And then I'm actually doing that now with HO Pro Tools that we're going to be launching a new self-liquidating offer. And I think that works out so much better than just like a typical lead gen and things like that. Because again, you're just qualifying the people, like even on the ad perspective, right? Like, and a lot of people, a lot of media buyers like have this kind of question too. It's like, if I'm running to an opt-in page, do I run leads or do I run for something else, right? So, so you got to understand with ads, the objective is that depending on what you choose is the kind of people you're going to be getting through your funnel. So if you're going to be going like, hey, I have what we call the tripwire funnel that they're going to opt in for something free and then pay for something afterwards, and you're doing just for lead, then you're going to get so many people dropping off because their intent is for lead. But then if you go for purchase, right, like what we did with Grant's webinars and what I did with, other people's webinars and things like that, and had that little paywall at the end, the quality of the people that come through are so much higher intent because they are willing to speak with their wallets versus they just want to speak with their emails. Right. Okay. So the intent and how you position it makes a huge difference in the quality that you're getting.
Amazing. So I know we're running out of time, so I do want to respect your time, and I definitely need to have a part 2 because there's way more questions that I've got that I haven't been able to ask you. So talk about the self-liquidating offer, and I want to talk about organic, and then we want to get to your free gift. Yep. So when you're doing a Brandon Turner $27 offer, that crushes it. Number one, what are you selling, or what can people sell when they're doing, these self-liquidating offers? And number two, for those of us that don't have like a paid ads budget yet, what is an organic, offer that we can either sell upfront, whether we're not doing paid ads, or do as a, lead gen from, the organic side? So there's 2 questions. What would you offer at $27 for a paid ad? And then what would you do for organic if you didn't have paid ads? What would you offer?
Gotcha. So for something like a $27 offer, basically you don't want anything tangible. You want something that you dedicated the time into recording, something that that your customer will really need, and that will kind of hook them in and be like, oh, this social media strategy or this attraction marketing strategy, or hey, I'm going to teach you on these 3 things in your particular niche, right? So educational is where it's at. You do not want to have anything tangible unless if it's like a book, right? So like that's something else that I would suggest as well. If you have a book or if you're in the process of making a book, I would totally tell you, hey, have that as the front end. Now, in order for you to break even on a book funnel is a little bit harder because you do have a physical product that does need to get shipped. So there is hard cost involved with it, but either one of those works very, very well. Now, on the organic side, I think that's highly different because at the end of the day, when you're doing something $27, that could go to anyone and everyone. But when you're doing it organically, you actually have the opportunity to reach out to a specific avatar in a specific niche that makes a certain amount of money, right? With ads, what ends up happening is that you're trying to blanket everybody. You're trying to make sure that your message hits as much as possible. And you're going to get looky-loos. You're going to get all these different kinds of people. But when you go the organic route, you actually have the opportunity to, one, really hone down on who your avatar is and reach out to those people specifically. And two, you could actually sell a higher ticket thing, because of if you're really hyper focused on who you want to be able to gravitate to and talk to organically, then you could actually reach out to those people personally. Yeah, you could have all this stuff on your page and making sure that you provide value and making sure that you speak what it is that you're trying to sell. But you could actually have the potential to reach out to those higher ticket people and be able to make actually more money in that sense with less work, if you know what you're doing on the organic side.
Amazing, amazing. So we're going to leave you guys with an incredible gift that Eddy has been so generous. So we're going to have this on the banner. If you can share what the gift that you're giving is and what people can expect when they're opting into this gift.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically the gift is just access to my Facebook group, Sales Growth Strategies for High Ticket Coaches, where I basically provide as much value as possible for any high ticket coach that wants to be able to make humongous moves in their marketing, from the ad side to the funnel side to systems, and even how we communicate with your sales team, right? Because all of that kind of matters in your current offer or the offer that you have right now that you want to be able to launch. That makes a huge difference, because a lot of people, like, again, I've been in multi-million-dollar companies and they still don't have it right. Right. So what makes you think that somebody like you is going to be able to get to that point as well? Right. So you need to understand these strategies. You need to understand how to be able to maneuver this so that you can get the most revenue for your business, so that you could scale, you could hire more people, you could help as many people as possible. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. We're here to help as many people as possible get to the next level in their life. We don't want these people to stay stuck, like living on couches and doing all this stuff. We want to be able to elevate people as much as possible, and that's what we're here for. And that's what will help you with that particular group.
Amazing. That was incredible. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the Sales Ninja Show podcast. That was absolute fire. There's way more under the hood that we need to uncover shortly. So if you guys are able to book a call and go into the team, I think the Facebook group community, where there's going to be secrets revealed, definitely do that, because you're going to learn and you're going to be able to monetize. And once you work with Eddy and his team, you're going to have so many leads that you're not going to know what to do with them. So you can click here in the comments in the show notes if you want to get a free invite, a complimentary invite. If you're stuck at $10,000 to $25,000 a month and you want to grow and scale and learn from the Sales Ninja, definitely go to salesninja.com/live-workshop to get your guest pass. And if you are looking to come on the Sales Ninja Show to help grow and scale your business and share some insights on how you've been doing amazing things like Eddy Miranda, comment podcast to apply, and we'll see if we're a good fit. Any last words, Eddy? Because there are people here who are listening who are looking to grow and scale, and they're lacking the leads, they're lacking the clarity, they're lacking the funnels, they're lacking the things that you have to offer. What would you say to encourage people as you've been, like you said, in the trenches learning everything from yourself, but you want to help them collapse time and accelerate the results to live the life to get that time and financial freedom?
Well, one, I would say it's like, be hyper-focused. Like, don't deter, don't take like one day or 1 week as being like, I can't do this anymore. Stay hyper-focused on what you're doing. Don't move out of that zone. And then two, what I would tell you to do is, like, if you're capable of doing it, learn the skills, learn how to be able to do this stuff. But once you get to a certain point, start delegating that to other people, because at the end of the day, what's the most valuable for you is your vision and your creativity. And if your vision and creativity is stuck in trying to build things for yourself, and you're basically as like a gopher inside of the dirt, just you're trapped in that, then you're going to have a hard time just trying to be able to move. So you're going to need to get outside people in order to be able to help you in all different aspects of your business, so that you can focus on your true thing, which is your vision and your creativity, in order to be able to scale your business.
Wow, is what Leon Daly says. So thanks for tuning in, Leon. Thanks for tuning in, Rory and Akbar. As you heard it from Eddy Miranda himself, the guy who worked with some of the biggest names in the industry, stay hyper-focused, learn skills. Most valuable asset, time it is. So buy back your time. Don't be a gopher trapped inside the dirt. We'll make a podcast out of that. So thanks, Eddy, for your time. And everyone, thanks for tuning in to the Sales in the Show podcast. Smash the subscribe button and comment podcast if you want to apply to be a special guest, just like Eddy. Thank you so much for your time, brother.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.